Okay, all right. Well, have the pleasure of being joined by Tyrell Hatton, joining us for his first start at the Valero Texas Open. Tyrell, thanks for joining us for a few minutes. If we could just get a few comments on being here, what you've seen. I know you've at least seen the back nine so
Yeah.
far, and just your initial thoughts on being here in the course.
Yeah, well, obviously it's good to be here. Typically, I've not played before the Masters, and my Masters record is nothing to get excited about. So we've had a nice start to the season, and figured it would be nice to add this event into the schedule, and we'll try our best to have a good week and take some momentum into Augusta.
What are your initial thoughts on the course? Have you had much experience? Have you been out here before this week?
No, well, I walked the front nine yesterday. I'm sure, as you guys know, it was pretty windy yesterday, so it wasn't the most productive day. I think I walked the front nine, hit maybe 30 balls, and that was about it. So just played the back nine in the Pro-Am. And yeah, so tomorrow is going to be it's all still going to be fairly new to me, but it's all kind of in front of you. It reminds me a little bit of South Africa in a way, actually, sort of visually and with the bushes, and yeah, you don't really want to be hitting it offline this week.
And my last question, then we'll take a few from these. You had mentioned good form coming into the week, most notably your runner-up at the Players' Championship. What are you most comfortable with, part of your game right now as you're heading into the week?
Well, generally my long game's been pretty solid from the start of this year. I feel at times my putting's let me down a little bit, it's normally the other way around. But yeah, I mean, this would be a nice week for it all to come together. But like any other week, I'll be trying my best from the start, and yeah, just hoping that I can have a good week.
Okay, we'll take a few questions. Go right here.
First, your hand that's why you talked about the hand at the double match play. Is that okay? Everything okay?
Yeah, it's been fine. It was just a really weird thing that happened warming up on Wednesday. I just hit a 6-iron, like 75%, just for rhythm purposes, and yeah, at impact I got a really sharp pain in my hand, which kind of sort of sent a sharp pain down into the wrist, but it was more that was in my hand that was the problem. Thankfully, I've not had that. I was fine on Thursday, fine on Friday, and haven't had that pain since. So it was just a freak thing that happened on that day. And the good thing is that I was able to play with it. Like I said, I took some Advil and hoped that would kind of get me through. And sure, there was a couple of shots that hurt at impact, but on Wednesday. But yeah, since then it's been fine.
Talking about Augusta National and kind of your finishes there, which aren't what you want them to be. I realize you're trying to shake things up by being here instead. Is there something about that golf course that just doesn't suit your eye well, or is it something that you think through time and learning a little bit more that you can come to master that course?
Well, I mean, I'd like to think this is going to next week will be my 7th Masters, so it's not like I'm short of experience around there. Generally speaking, I've not putted particularly well there, which again, going back through a few sort of stats and stuff throughout the years, putting's normally a strength of mine. And yeah, I've just not hold the putts, which in the shows. I mean, have I broken 70? Was it once in my 17 or 18 tournament rounds? So it's, it's not a record to get excited about. But having said that, you don't always have to shoot low around there to have a great week. Typically, scores are pretty. The winning scores higher than normal weeks. It's not often where the winning score's gone lower than 10 under. So. It's not really the kind of week that you have to shoot low, so that I guess in that sense, it's not too concerning. But yeah, it's just it's an interesting golf course.
A couple more quick ones. Just this field, you're one of the favorites. Do you like that? I mean, it seems like at the Players, when kind of things all of a sudden got not away from you, but you were a little back in the pack. Boy, you played your best golf in a long, long time. You even said you surprised yourself with your finish. Do you like that, playing an underdog role, or do you prefer coming in like this, where you're a favorite?
I mean, golf's a pretty silly game. Just on paper, you could say like every week there's favourites, but it doesn't often turn out that way. I mean, it makes no difference to me where that I don't feel. World ranking wise, I'm one of the higher ranked players playing this week. Like, that makes no difference. You still got to go out there and play good golf. Like, what's the field size this week? 144. So there's 143 other players that are fantastic at playing golf. Like, on their week they can go and win this tournament. There's no doubt about it. Like, so if you're a favourite or not, like, it really doesn't matter. You just go out there and you play your best golf, and you're gonna have a chance to win.
All right, real quickly, our team has Man City this week. We got any chance?
If the team that played United show up, then absolutely. If the team that played Bournemouth show up, then it could be another sad week. But we'll be optimistic and hope that we need 3 points.
Tyrell, what do you usually do the week before a major? Do you play in events, or do you usually take the week off?
Well, I mean, before the Open, I generally always play the Scottish. I'm trying to think. Before this year, I'm going to play. It looks like I'm going to be playing before each major. Certainly for the first few. So yeah, it's just how it's going to go this year, to be honest.
Do you like the idea of that? And what do you hope to get out of this week? Outside, obviously, the goal is to win. But what do you hope to get out of this week to take to next week?
It's just more momentum, really. Even last week in Austin, I actually played good. I just didn't really hole any putts. And so although I lost my 3 matches, I kind of left Austin. Yeah, your pride's hurt because you've lost all 3. Like, you want to be winning them. But at the end of the day, like, it's not like I played bad golf and lost all 3, where you can be a bit like, well, that like really sucks. But at least I've played good. I didn't hole putts, okay, that's fine. But then jumping like straight back into it, playing this week, feeling fairly comfortable with my swing right now. Hoping that I can keep that momentum going and keep playing well, because then that gives you confidence. And like I said, hoping that I can feel confident going into the Masters and try and have a good week there too.
You mentioned the wind yesterday when you were walking around. What's the worst tournament round that you can recall dealing with the wind?
That's a hard question. I'm trying to think of what comes to my mind. Weirdly, I just think, thankfully I wasn't playing, but the players last year, when the guys were hitting like anywhere from 8 iron to 5 iron or whatever it was into 17. I mean, yeah, I mean, that was pretty mad watching that. But off the top of my head, I'm struggling to think of. I guess you try and forget those kind of weeks when the wind's just causing havoc.
Because like the Open Championship, a number of years there's been wind issues. I can recall St. Andrews being one of them. I don't know whether you were.
Yeah, I played the 2010 Open at St Andrews as a 18-year-old amateur, and I remember I hit driver 6-iron to the first, where typically like what we're hitting 3-iron gap wedge or whatever it is now. Yeah, driver 6-iron. So that was an interesting day for sure.
When you get into events where you have wind, as a lot of these Texas events do you have a certain strategy to play within that wind?
No, I mean, with growing up playing a lot of links golf as an amateur, you kind of, at times you feel like you should be able to flight the ball as you need to get around the course. So generally speaking, if I feel in a good spot with how I'm swinging it, flighting the ball, I'm kind of comfortable with. I mean, the greens this week seem fairly firm or can get firmer. And if the wind picks up, then that will certainly make it interesting, because they're at times not the biggest of targets to hit into with some slopes and runoffs. So that will make the second shots in or approach shots pretty challenging. I haven't seen the forecast if it is due to pick up at all this week. Obviously, my playing experience of playing 9 holes today, it was quite pleasant with just a little breeze. So yeah, but whatever's in front of us, then we'll try our best to deal with it as good as we can.
Tyrell, with this being your first time here, I'm just wondering, are you staying on site at the JW?
I am, yeah.
How nice is that, being able to get off the course and head right to the room?
Yeah, no, it's it seems like it's a nice setup this week. Whenever you get to stay on site, it's obviously very convenient. So you don't have to worry about a half an hour drive back and a traffic jam. So it's as I said, it's a good setup.
You're all good? All right. Well, we will let you head back towards that room right now. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time.
I wish I was going back to the room. Sadly, I've got
Still got some work.
I've got to do a gym session, which, as you can see, I'm delighted about. So
Good
yeah.
man. Good man.
And that glass of wine tonight.
Yeah, there you go. I respect that. That's a nice little fitness that they got down there.